lot of rappers talk crazy in the booth, but never really live that life. But FOOlio is the opposite. He sparked one of the deadliest wars in rap history and survived 4 shootouts. But most fans have no idea how wild his story really is. Today we're breaking it all down and diving into why his ops are terrified. FOOlio came up on the north side of Jacksonville in one of the most active areas of the city called 6 Block. He told Cam Capone News that he lost his first homie at just 15 years old, and by the time he was 20 years old, he already lost 15 of his friends to the streets. After he got kicked out of school in 9th grade, FOOlio got sent to an alternative school in op territory, and that's when some crazy stuff went down. On the first day of school, someone from the op hood got killed waiting for the bus, and FOOlio started dissing them all over social media. A lot of people at school thought FOOlio had something to do with the hit, and he ended up getting into a fight over it. Throwing hands is one thing, but after the last bell rang, the situation took a wild turn. FOOlio hopped on the bus, but the ops was following him, and while he was walking down the street, someone started letting off shots at him and his homies. A bullet hit FOOlio in the leg and knocked his hip out of place, so he had to crawl away while the shooter was still busting shots. FOOlio made it to the front yard of a woman who lived in the neighborhood and asked for help, but she just told him to get off her property and wouldn't do anything for him. FOOlio passed out and woke up to the cops and EMTs surrounding him. Then he blacked out again and woke up in the hospital. The ops wasn't the only ones who thought he was involved with the murder that went down that morning, and the police started questioning him over the situation. Eventually, FOOlio proved that he was just going to school that morning and didn't catch the body. But after that day, his whole life took a brutal turn. FOOlio actually tried working a normal job in the factory for a little while, but it only lasted a few months and he went right back to his street activities. FOOlio went deeper into the streets and started rapping at the same time. At first it was just something he was doing on the side, but after a couple of his early tracks started popping off, he realized that it could be his out of the trenches. Around the same time FOOlio was getting a buzz in the city, another rapper named Young and Ace was laying down tracks trying to get his name popping. But instead of linking up and putting on for Jacksonville together, they split the city in half and dozens of bodies have dropped on both sides. Everything allegedly started with FOOlio's cousin Zion Brown getting killed in 2017. Zion was at his crib when a dude named DeAndre Thomas threw a brick through the window and started letting off shots. 2 girls in the house got hit and survived, but Zion tragically didn't make it out alive. Ace and Thomas was tight, and in 2018, they both got hit with charges for allegedly robbing a weed dealer and letting off shots. Ace skated on the case, but a few months later, he suffered a brutal loss that took his beef with FOOlio to the next level. Ace, his brother, and 2 of his best friends went out to eat and celebrate his homie's birthday, and when they left the spot, a shooter rode up on them and dumped a clip into their car. Ace got hit 8 times, but he was the only one who wasn't killed. After it went down, FOOlio sent some shots on social media, and he told Say Cheese TV that he ain't feel bad about it because he knew they'd do the same thing if he was the one who got killed. Even though he was dissing Ace's dead homies, FOOlio said the beef wasn't that deep, but what happened next proved that wasn't the case. In January 2019, a rapper named Boss Goon was shot and killed in Jacksonville outside a nightclub. He had just been released from prison after serving a decade behind bars, and his own dad got hit up in the same shooting that killed him. Boss Goon was the older brother of Ace's homie K-So, who's allegedly one of the top shooters in Ace's ATK crew. K-So already had a rep in the streets, but after his brother died, he allegedly clapped back and killed one of FOOlio's best friends. Lil Bibby was always hanging around FOOlio even though his homie K Shorty warned him to stay away. FOOlio was already one of the most hated dudes in the city, and K Shorty knew that Bibby could get caught up in all the drama and have a target on his back too. Unfortunately, Bibby ain't listen, and in February 2019, a shooter walked him down outside his apartment building and started letting off shots. He tried to get away, but the shooter ran up and killed him in broad daylight. Ace's side started dissing Bibby like crazy, and K-So dropped the track K-So bitch and raps. And you know we smoke Lil Bibby bitch, K-So bitch, Glocks and Rugers we be hitting shit, we slipping shit, don't run we chase you down, we blitzing shit, we blitzing shit, don't be Bibbied out, we hitting shit, and shots a little bitch, Bibbied out. Now K-So is facing a murder charge for killing Bibby. Plus, he's fighting another case for allegedly killing another one of FOOlio's homies named Lil Buck. Then FOOlio's side allegedly clapped back by taking out Ace's homie, Leaky. Leaky was one of FOOlio's biggest ops, and Leaky allegedly even shot his girlfriend's finger off. In April 2020, FOOLio's girlfriend Bubin was driving his whip when a shooter rolled through and started letting off shots at her and her friend. Bubin tried to drive off and duck away from the bullets, but she ended up getting hit in the head, knee, and even lost a finger. Rumors said that Leaky was the one who pulled up on them, and his homie spinning Benz dissed FOOlio over it on the track I Don't Smoke Kendre and rapped, "This nigga mama got shot and he's still tweaking. This nigga bitch got shot. Cool, I know she leaving. They shot that whole finger off, she couldn't even tweet it." A month after Bubin got hit, Leaky allegedly kills another dude from 6 block named 3-5. 3-5 was just posted on the block with some homies when the shooter hopped out of a whip and hit all of them. 3-5's homie survived, but unfortunately, he didn't make it out. According to some people, Leaky was one of the most active dudes in the city, and he allegedly took out another op 1 month after 3-5 died. A rapper named Jump Out Squeeze had just dropped a diss track against Leaky and some of his homies. Then 10 days later, he was murdered while trying to apply for a job at an Amazon warehouse. Leaky was putting on crazy pressure in the street, and in September 2020, it all caught up to him when he was killed sitting right next to Spinner Benz. They was both in the whip with some other homies when another car pulled up and started letting off, and by the time they was finished, Leaky was dead. Nobody was ever booked for the murder, but Leaky's sister claims that FOOlio was involved with the hit. After he died, FOOlio hopped on Rod K's track, all gas, and rapped, "Shot my car up twice, then hit my bitch. Now Leaky, rest in peace." Then he named a song after Leaky and said, "100K, he'll shake the room. Sweep his block, we don't need no broom. They ask me how high I am, I'm Leaky high, I'm to the moon." Getting Leaky out of the picture was a big win for FOOlio and 6 block, but then they suffered 2 more losses back to back. FOOlio's homie Spaz 2 times was found shot to death at the Hilltop Village Apartments where Bibby died. Then the very next day, Rod K was killed in the same place. After it went down, Spinning Benz dropped the track I Don't Smoke Kendre and raps, "Rod K died, he was spinning, guess he freezed up. Fuck his last words, cool, the last thing he seen was us." And Spaz 2 times got dropped, how he do that? Scrolling through his phone in Hilltop, thought you knew that. The violence in Jacksonville was getting crazier every day, but FOOlio wasn't safe even when he left the city. In 2020, he was out in Houston when the ops pulled up and tried to take him out. They shot up his whip and grazed him in the neck, but FOOlio hopped right back on social media to clown the ops for not finishing the job.
Bitch nigga shot me but they didn't kill me. I'm Kendrick. You fucking stupid.
As soon as FOOlio got hit up, rumors were flying that Ace and his crew was behind it. And when they dropped the track Who I Smoke, Fast Money Goon basically confirmed the rumor and rapped, "I told the Rocket when I travel, I'm pistol packing in Houston. I was lurking on his page and caught him lacking in Houston. We let off shots, he got shot and went live. I was tweaking like, fuck man, that bitch ain't died." Who I Smoke took the war in Jacksonville to another level. It's one of the most savage diss tracks of all time. And after it popped off and went viral, more people started paying attention to what was going down in the city. Young and Ace, Spinner Benz, Wappa Ace, Spinner Benz, Wappa with the Chopper, and Fast Money Goon all took shots at FOOlio and his dead homies. And even FOOlio admitted that the track was cold. FOOlio wasn't just gonna take the shots without responding though. And a few weeks later, he clapped back with the track When I See You and took the disrespect to another level. FOOlio started off the video with a news report about the shooting that left Ace's brother and 2 homies dead. He also printed out a flyer with their pictures on it and danced in front of it while dissing them with lines like, "Ace from the West, how he clicked up with the East Side. He ain't been the same since he seen the other 3 die. Bitch, I'm 2-3 high. Bitch, say your goodbye. Gave that boy the business like a suit and a bow tie. Light them boys block up like the 4th of July. They got caught lacking, the whole world wanna know why." 2021 was when the beef went viral, and FOOlio took the chance to send all kinds of crazy shots at Ace and his homies. On his remix of the track Beatbox, FOOlio and his homie Kojak dissed Queso's brother Boss Goon and rapped, "Rolling dead ops, he caught a headshot. Big Boss gone, we got him scared now. He was dissing in them songs, what he saying now? AR with the 50 round, knock his dread off." Then FOOlio, Prosper got shot, Tay got shot, Desi got dropped, Nate got popped, Leaky got shot, Spaz face hot, Corbin got kidnapped, they found his bones, he was rotten. Corbin Johnson was a dude affiliated with the same set as Lil Leaky. Just like Jump Out, who Leaky allegedly killed, one of the last places Corbin was seen alive was at the Amazon warehouse. He had an interview that day, but after he left his mom's crib around 9:30 that night, he was never seen again. They put a missing persons report out on him 2 days later, but nobody found him until the next year. Exactly 1 year after he disappeared, Corbin's body was found in the woods wrapped up in a plastic bag. Nobody knows who actually took him out, but Foolio's been dissing him ever since. Foolio kept the pressure up on the rap side when he dropped the track List of Dead Ops in October 2021. Everyone already knew that the disrespect in the Jacksonville drill scene was on another level, but Foolio took everything even further and dissed over 30 dead ops. He started it off by dissing a dude named Big Baby and some other ops. Big Baby's the one who got murdered on Foolio's first day at the new school, and on the track he raps, 5 got hit in the head, he tried to swim at the pool. Big Baby got caught in the morning at the bus, was going to school. Quana died in the suburbs, remember that shit hit the news. Top got hit in his top, done, he should have had a tool. Back in 2016, Foolio's op Malcolm was killed in a shootout on 2nd Avenue in the northwest area of Jacksonville. He took a shot at him and Corbin on the same track and said, Malcolm died on 2nd, they taught his bitch ass a lesson. Hey, Corbin got kidnapped, how the fuck a grown man go missing? Then he aired out a dude named Eldridge who allegedly got ran down on for snitching on his homies and rapped, Eldridge died, he was snitching. Either way, he was gonna get it. Foolio wasn't gonna leave Ace out of it though, and he sent more shots with the line, can't forget 2-3, Quan, and 4 in the back seat. Hey, Ace only one survived. See, that nigga blessed if you ask me. If he's still trying to beef, remember, you lost 3. In 2015, Foolio's op Desi was found shot multiple times in the head and face. His dad was actually a retired cop, but Desi had all kinds of charges like carrying a concealed firearm, resisting arrest, and more. Foolio dissed him on the track, plus a dude named Freddie Patterson who had dissed Lil Bibby on a song in the past. After Freddie dropped the diss, someone knocked on his front door and murdered him when he answered it. Foolio clowned both of them and rapped, all the new ops gon' hate nigga, we be bucking shit, Tampa Bay. Desi ass tried to run, died in the yard, shoulda had his gun. Freddie said he's smoking Bibby, now his big dumb ass in my lungs. Foolio was already one of the most hated dudes in Jacksonville, but all the dissing made the target on his back even.
That you could die, that it ain't no rules in this shit.
About this right here.
That you wish you knew before you got into it. Shit, that bullet's real, that you could die, that it ain't no rules in this shit, that these hoes will set you up, grimy as hell, slimy as hell. It's a lot of shit, bro.
You ever had a situation where like a female set you up or attempted to and you caught her?
Damn, have I? Hell yeah, it probably been, bro, I done been through movie shit, bro, no cap. Hell yeah, it probably been a situation or two. Hell yeah. I ambushed, somebody was waiting on me when I on the stove. So I hopped in the car and I guess I got ambushed. Somebody was waiting on me when I pulled out the driveway and shit. And I saw the car, like I saw a little glimpse of the car. But by the time I got to the stop sign, they hopped out and went to shooting and shit. They shot the car. Then I just went to hitting. I went to driving type shit.
The number one was we back with the number one spiritual podcast on the internet. It's your host, the Hood Mystic, here with my nearest and dearest. We about to talk this spiritual hot shit. Got Sacred, AD, and Jabri, and we are the initiates. We happy that you here, and we hope that y'all are prepared for a dynamite, action-packed, knowledge-filled show. We probably one of the only podcasts that you can listen to and take notes. So we got that ether. You know what I'm saying? Something to help you learn. You feel me? So let the guys introduce themselves. If y'all want to tap in with me, you can find me on IG at the Hood Mystic. But I let the guys introduce themselves, their social media, and whatever else they feel like telling you today.
What up? It's Breeze. I put the my IG handles in the chat. Pure Friends Book Club. Jabriji at IG. Yeah, man. Here to talk about some science, um, and talk about some things that's going on in the world that we could probably make a difference in. Um, and it may just be you and your family, or you and your friend circle. Um, and yeah, man, it's Thursday. It's Thursday night, so I don't care how I'm gonna feel Friday morning because I know I'm gonna get off. And I'm gonna be good.
Peace to the tribe. Welcome to tonight's show. Thank you for joining. It's the co-host of the Harrison's Book Club, AD. And you can find me on my Instagram at AD underscore Senpai 33. And you can go ahead, book me for readings and all. Right now, I am doing free readings. So get at me, DM me. Was really getting to understand your sidereal chart, and if you really want to support me, just leave me a review. Whether the reading was good or bad, be honest. This is going to help me grow. So if you felt like I was saying some fuck shit, let me know. If you felt like I was saying the right shit, let me know. But due to that, please check out the show. Check out what we also have. Our Substack. It's just so much out there. But appreciate you guys for joining. Peace.
Sacred Serpent, Dark Sacred Serpent, Racine Maurice on all social handles, initiates on Substack. Um, yeah, man, I'm excited for the conversation. It's been a while. Um, Obviously, we all have a lot of things going on, but we are very appreciative of the space. And of course, I just always want to offer our shades to the ancestors known and unknown. And let's get to it.
All right, all right. So this show we got some videos that I want that we have like compiled in our ideas channel on the Discord. Shameless plug. Link is in the description. Please join the Discord. That's where we get all our conversations going. And maybe you want to talk to us outside of this YouTube platform. The best place to get in tune with all of us is the Discord, which will be the first link in our actual bio. So I think we should talk about the Fool or Foolio last and kind of build up to it. If you've seen the intro, we're referencing Foolio and that energy. But to get things started, um, probably one of the most biggest moments in hip hop history took place. The last time we got on this damn internet, this thing hadn't taken place, but now it's been marketed as one of the most viral, serious, impactful hip hop moments ever, and that is the Ken and Friends pop out concert at Juneteenth. Now, it's a whole lot that I could probably say about it, but I'm gonna let Charleston White talk about it first, and then we're gonna react to it.
So you think with the Kendrick concert and everybody coming together, as time goes by, same shit happening. Gang shootings, drive-bys.
Man, Kendrick did that for a video shoot. He didn't do that to bring niggas together. Them niggas just found something to dance to.
No. And why I'm saying that is because he let a lot of up and coming LA artists perform that night.
They ain't going nowhere. Ain't nobody fit to listen to no bunch of up and coming LA artists, but LA people in their neighborhood. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Nigga Kendrick, nigga, listen. Let me just say this. Drake way better. Drake way better rapping. Nigga, I know Drake's song. I ain't never heard a nigga in Texas pull up bumping Kendrick shit, nothing. Nigga, we like, much as I don't like that nigga. Nigga, you heard me nigga, come on, man. I was just going against the grain. But come on, let's be fair and clear. Me and Kendrick can't compare it. Unless you like twisted your fingers up like the retarded people. Yeah, that's the only way you go like Kendrick. You got to be retarded with the career, diamond. Sensible people don't gravitate to that bullshit. So what? He gave these up and coming artists a spotlight for today. Most of them will be by tomorrow due to the gang politics. California, Compton, or whatever you want to call it, homie, is not vibrant. So why would you go shoot somewhere where, nigga, nothing grows here, everything dies? For what?
So with that being said, I was wondering y'all personal opinion. Basically, Drake versus Kendrick, Ken and Friends, pop out contest, uniting all of the gangs in LA. How did y'all feel about that? You know, we're not Los Angeles residents, but we all listen to hip hop. So it was a moment nonetheless. How did you take this moment in?
Well, how I'm thinking about it, and I'm taking it in, right? We got we got somebody who's being smart and understanding how to use his marketing, and it's always gonna be the outside looking in, but on the inside, I feel like bro know what he was doing, honestly. And then you got a whole all these people come together singing a diss song. It's not like they singing this powerful, impactful song. They're singing a diss song. They got clout.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I was made privy to when they made Drake Thanos and the rest of these niggas is the Avengers, right? Because like any grown ass man that feels good about teaming up with another grown ass man to beat one man, nah, like that's all right. So that's man shit. I'll put that to the side. I don't want to get too deep into that. But we're talking about musically. The majority of those artists that were on that stage, nobody is checking for.
Mhm.
And it's not to any fault of them, I might add. Like, it's not like you can tell me that there's a bunch of fucking talent up there. Yeah, there is. However, just the way that we consume music these days, like, all of those people are afterthoughts tomorrow,
Mhm.
right? So then you have to ask yourself, well, all right, I understand all of these people work for Fortune 500 companies, and this is a campaign. Okay, what is the campaign about though? Like if we're looking at it on that level, like what is it about? Is it about getting people to come back to buying albums? Because this is not gonna make me buy an album.
Nah, I would say that it's the enemy doing what the enemy does, using us as pawns.
Yeah, we
Because
food
when
right. We
we,
food in all of this. We food in all of this.
when we talk about gang culture, that is going to destroy a black man, going to destroy a black woman, going to destroy a black family. So
Mm-hmm.
me personally, I wouldn't give a fuck if you united every gang in the world. It
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't matter to me because they already have destroyed.
They've already done their damage.
Yeah, and it's irreparable when you talk about taking lives and ruining families to that degree. So my thing is always like fuck gangs, fuck gang culture. I just stand on that. So I don't. I think, and then another thing, I think about PNB Rock, and I think about Pop Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
I think about Biggie. People
Mm-hmm.
who came to Los Angeles to visit, and maybe they didn't check in and pay the right gang members, and they lost their lives. And these are world class talents that just been taken from us due to LA gang culture. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know of another city like I know it's gangs everywhere, but we all know that LA would be the epicenter of gang culture And really, that is some bullshit. As a black man, I don't think I don't care how it started. Yeah, protecting the black neighborhoods or whatever. That's not what's happening now. You know what I mean? You are more or less a target in your own community. We can't even be amongst black people in certain capacities without it being a threat or fear-based environment. So, and it's all reduced down to gang culture. So
And
to
it's so interesting how that nuance is completely like overlooked, right?
yeah, they never talk about it.
Nobody wants to talk about the damage that is irreparable, right? Or the fact that growing up, we gave these guys a pass above reproach, right? Like remember the gang leader in your hood growing up, like everybody gave him a pass, right? Like no matter what it was that person did, it was because they were in charge of the gang, they got a pass, right? So those things have to be rectified now. And whether you wanted to rectify it or not, nobody has rectified it. And yeah, LA is known for that. Like nobody else is talking about the city of check-ins other than LA. And I just started hearing that about Detroit and New York. Like that never was a thing in the 80s or 90s, but now it's a thing where you got to check in if you're getting off a plane in another person's city, which is super weird. Super weird.
Mhm. But it is the reality for these artists, and people lose their lives for trying to do something that they always wanted to do. And then, you always got to get like history lessons and, manifestos about the good of the game. But as a black man who have went to prison, I couldn't see no value in this culture for us as a people. So when gang culture is propagated by Amazon, giving him $10 million to do that show, then to me it's like, oh, this is what they do. They want to promote and put money behind, beef and hate because the word is a powerful tool. The word is so strong to whereas people now don't even like, in my personal opinion, people don't like Kendrick, they just hate Drake. And that
Yeah,
hate for
yeah.
Drake, it
Mhm.
makes them listen
It's the
to
perfect if you think about it from a musical standpoint, it's the perfect default, right? It's like none of these people are gonna go out now and buy Kendrick stuff. They're just validated in saying whatever it is that they wanted to say about Drake anyway, right? Like that's ultimately what this is, right?
Yeah, it's about picking a side, just like you got the presidential election on today. But one thing I want to say about California is like they could have easily called it the "This Is Us"
yeah.
Juneteenth concert. You know what I mean? And you think about California, you think about Cali. You know what I mean? And you think of the destructive forces, that's just residing in the name Cali. And not saying that Cali is a negative thing, but I don't think California is ever meant to be anything but, a wild place. You know,
City of Los Angeles, bro. Like
yeah,
is it in their name, bro? Like
it's. But I mean, the way I feel about it, I do think if I'm just looking at his discography, I listen to more Kendrick or listen to more Kendrick than Drake. But it's almost like these not the only artists, for one. And then another thing about just like the hoods, you know, you could go to LA and not have no type of problem like these. You know what I mean? Like you can go to Jacksonville and not have none of these problems. It's nothing alluring about the hood. I'm not about to go to another city and go to their hood. I've been in Chicago plenty of times, you know. And
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not going to the hood in Chicago.
yeah.
You get what I mean? Like when you really look at like the infrastructure of them, you know what I mean? And then you look at like how police these communities are. Like I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and Now the projects got their own police. Like this is not the city of Cleveland. It's in the city of Cleveland, but the city of Cleveland don't patrol in these projects. It's a police force just for the projects, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then when you look at like damn, what was my train of thought? Just how the record labels double down on this kind of thing. You know what I mean? They own the rights to these artists that die. They make money off of that. They own prisons. You know what I mean? So they make music. You know that's for gang culture. You know, it's kind of like Universal owns gang culture. You know what I mean? And they monetize it from a multitude of different ways, multitude of different streams and income from prison and gang culture and gangster rap music. You know what I mean? You even got rappers like Ice Cube and Crazy Bone telling you
Y'all
like they
familiar?
they they signed a non-disclosure. You know what I mean? They knew they
Y'all
knew the
familiar with
intent
base,
of these record labels
y'all familiar with baseball, right? So
for
like
sure.
so like
America's pastime.
yeah, so like
You talking about
they
baseball like when you smoking and we all
like regular baseball. So like what he just described is essentially they've created a farm system of artists that are going to create music that is generated for people that are essentially just going to end up in jail, right? So they've created a farm system of artists, right, geared towards just making that type of music that
Right.
towards and predicated upon the audience that is going to end up being the ones that are going to end up in jail, whether advertently or inadvertently, but nonetheless, because they love this kind of music, right? And they have this kind of lifestyle that is predicated upon this kind of music. So like it's an interesting little system that they created there because they own both ends of the system, right? Like they own the company that's creating the player and they own the consequence at the end of the line, like right, like they also
Mm-hmm.
in jail, right? So like they've cornered the market essentially.
Mm-hmm. It's a term called biopower, and it's basically like a corporation or a government ability to control life. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, think of this analogy like you have a caterpillar in a controlled environment, right? But you do everything that you can to this caterpillar so that it never becomes a butterfly.
Mm.
They control the birth and death rate. You know what I mean? Like they got so much control over the life, the ideas, the reality, how you see yourself to the point where it's just like, God, how could you let this happen? You know? Yeah, it's kind of insane. I think you muted Hood if you talking.
When you think about it, like in the hood context, um, and like a hood mentality, you're locked in to what's ever happening in that neighborhood, and you're literally cut off from the whole entire world. And there's
Yup.
so many black boys and girls that are completely tuned in and tapped into destructive concepts and ideologies, and it has been promoted to them through drill music. And that's kind of what, like, I talk to it or listen to it, because it's like, even if you don't like the music, your kids listen to it and it probably control their whole being and thought process. Like when I'm like, sometimes I might wake up and I'll just have a reel, like if it's a song on the reel, that shit will just be playing in my head over and over and over again, right? So imagine the drill beef songs that are playing, and it's like the major thing in hip hop now. Like, name me the last time you heard like a ill story, like a rap where a nigga kicking a story about when he met a girl, or Renee by the Lost Boys, or I got a story to tell by Biggie. You know, I haven't heard no song like that. Even if it was, when it promotes rap, they're gonna promote the beef, and that's really sad because these is real people that's like losing their lives. But back to what y'all was saying earlier, maybe we said it in a live, maybe we said it backstage, but we have become desensitized to murder, especially when it comes to the murder of black men. It's almost like, that's crazy. And we just go about our day.
That's what that nigga get.
But I mean,
But, you know, that's the shit. That's the shit you get.
That's the bulk of our entertainment. You know what I mean? People getting shot up, blown up. You know,
And that's a very
Because honestly,
interesting,
if rap didn't
very
have all this beef
interesting
and shit,
dynamic.
would it be this interesting?
Yeah, that's a very interesting dynamic.
Like,
That on both sides, on one side it's used as looked at and viewed as entertainment. On the other side, it's actually the symbology of
hmm
you yourself being killed, right? But it's like
hmm
um you're not even taught that you're supposed to learn how to separate yourself from that. But first of all, by the time you learn that you're supposed to separate yourself from that, you've already normalized that thing because you've been looking at that your whole fucking life, right? So now to then go and backtrack and to like forget everything that you've learned about that, right?
yeah,
Right, like that. That's
yeah.
it.
Good luck.
That would be like the most daunting
and,
part of it, right? But outside of it, like that's that's pretty scary for most people who are not comfortable with the idea of change, right? Like that's pretty disheartening for a person who is in love with their comfort, right? Like that's just not that's not an everyday occurrence right there. It's just
uh, bro, before even Hood say something, please get this freaking book. One of the best books that really decodes the matrix of freaking hip hop, bro. Like, it drops so many gems, even dropped gems on 50 Cent, you know, aka 50, but that's a different night.
Hip hop decoded from
Thank
its ancient origins to its modern day matrix.
you from a black dot joint.
Yeah, this is Black Dodge joint. Where I said, like, if you like
Black
a
Dot.
hip hop fan
Yeah,
and you
you should
conscious,
have that. You should have that. Yeah.
you probably want to connect the dots because it's not just niggas rapping on the mic. So if this is our sacred science, if this is our mode of hieroglyphics, and all of the great rappers are dead, but we couldn't say the same about accountants, doctors, engineers, scientists. That would be crazy if all the great engineers on the planet got murdered. We'd be like, yo, what are they doing? We would fucking tweak the fuck out, but we probably diminish the concept of the art form of hip hop, where I feel like it's a top tier art form. And the fact that the black geniuses, are getting killed almost wholesale, it makes you kind of wonder. But I think, like, if you're interested in things like this, go ahead and get this book. I'm showing it on the screen. Hip Hop Decoded by Black Dot.
Like all of those
Yeah, man.
like all of those doctors that suddenly dropped dead over that Chris Brown, right?
Or disappeared.
And also,
Disappeared.
for real, if you in the description, it was talking about B girls and B boys. If you don't know what a B boy stands for or a B girl, you need to study hip hop. And I'm gonna just leave it at like that. Anybody know what a B boy is? Like, I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
if you're gonna take it that far, then yeah, they just need to start at like breakdancing and that house music.
Cause
Like
I'm a real breaker
Yeah,
boy.
they gotta start at
I get on the
house
motherfucker,
music.
they
the
gotta go
six
to
step, all
breakdancing
that. But
because b-boying is a breakdancing term. You know what I'm saying?
they
So
ain't ready for
if they
that
go to
shit.
b-boying, then they got to go to house music and all that other shit. Like, yeah, but they should start at the origins. Like, You got some people that'll tell you that this thing originated in Africa, which I will fight them any day of the week. But then you got some people that'll tell you this shit originated in Cali. Some people will say it was in the
Man,
Bronx. Some people will say it was Brooklyn. Like, listen,
yo, yeah, man,
I'm not one of
Yeah,
them
a
get
lot of
off my
people say
lawn
why the
type
Bronx
niggas.
because that's
So
where
you
the
never
jazz
go hear
right,
me
music is
argue about the origins or something. Like I just don't care that much, right?
yo, Serpent, it originated.
I do care about the art form itself, but you're not gonna get me to do the LeBron James, Michael Jordan thing. Like you're not gonna get me to do that, right? Like that just doesn't make any sense to me. But I will say that yeah, like if you care about this art form, because like the nuance that they don't teach you about when you want to placate and sort of how do you say steal the stereotypical advantages that are said to come from this art form, aka culture vulturing. Like what they don't teach you about is like we get stopped by the cops a lot, right? So like if you're gonna play like us, right? Like you gotta be prepared to go through all of the shit that we go through. Like you can't just put the clothes on and look cool and that be it, right? So like if you're gonna do this whole culture appropriation thing, like do it all the way. Like get arrested a few times. Like you can't placate this art form, right? Like you gotta be a b-boy standing in your b-boy stance, right? Like you gotta be that dude. I'm just saying.
I would say go listen to Rakim, 18th Letter.
Yeah,
That's what I say.
that's that's my original favorite. Like
Yeah,
that's who got me to liking rap music,
some
right?
of the hardest music. He ain't even cuss.
He never cursed. He never cursed. He
Don't
never
sweat the
Argu-
technique.
and his words are worth way more than like yeah,
yeah,
his rhyme format is ill, but I feel the same way about G Rap, right?
G
Like
Rap.
G Rap is the original fast spitter.
Hold up, we
Like
change we changing this podcast up, but
yeah,
yes,
like
G Rap.
G Rap is the original fast spitter,
Yeah,
right? Like,
G Rap birthed a lot of
it's
yeah,
G Rap and Big Daddy Kane, right? Like as
for
far as
sure.
the lyrical fast shit that was
No,
accepted, right?
it's just G Rap.
It would be G Rap and then Big Daddy Kane on a
Yeah,
lesser end. But remember
yeah.
that was Jay Z's original style, all fast shit. Like he had to switch his shit up in order to fucking get in the
hmm
door. So
hmm
um yeah, like Busta Rhymes started out fast spitting. Um a bunch of them did. Like this is when Daz Effects was the shit. Like Fushnikins and the Far Side. Like this was when like lyricism was actually a thing. Now it's like real bubblegumish. Like, but yeah, like you had to actually think about the words these niggas was rapping. Like Diggable
Yeah,
Planets was deep as fuck. Like they were way ahead of their time. Like, but
yeah. But I mean, it really. But before I say this, before like G Rap and them, it was really like spoken word and voguing and stuff like that. Like a lot of it started from like runway shit, like competing with like what you got on, you know what I mean? Like how you styling, you know what I mean? And then the verbal element came into it. It actually started out as just like a visual thing, you know what I mean? Like
mhm,
hip hop
mhm,
was like a visual thing, like it was style, you know what I mean? It was the way you walked, how you talked, how you dressed, and stuff like that. And
mhm,
then it was some underground shit where cats used to just be so cool, they just said some cool shit, you know what I
mhm.
mean? And then all of a sudden somebody got a record deal, and now everybody trying to make money and
Right,
stuff like
right,
that, you know what I
right.
mean?
Everybody's trying to emulate that style that got
Yeah,
on. Like
yeah.
totally forget about their own personal style and try to emulate the style that got on. You're absolutely right.
And then that's when you had like Russell Simmons with Def Jam, you know, but he ended up selling it to a major company, you know. But yeah, you could
Cause
Question,
yeah, like
y'all.
I'm one of those people that'll tell you that there's not too many people that can out rap Andre 3000, but a lot of people don't know about that from him. You know what I'm saying? Like Andre 3000 is probably one of the greatest lyricists of our lifetime. Like one of them. Like he's that good, right? But he'll never get that credit because he's seen as the crazy guy from Outkast, right? Like but yeah, like there's so much fucking talent in that dude. It's crazy. Fucking
Question. Since
Talib
Hood put up
Kweli.
this diagram, right?
What's
Since Hood
that?
put up this diagram, right? You see
Oh,
Hood put up this diagram, right? Can y'all hear me good? Can y'all hear me good?
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Since we got this right in front of us, would rap be interesting if there wasn't beef going on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this
Okay.
is the pillars of hip hop, not the pillars of rap.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
Rap would be good if there wasn't no beef going on. The problem is that people didn't realize that they wanted a beef until they got an actual beef.
They forced it down your throat.
Yeah, they forced it down niggas' throats. So now if they talk about
Oh,
this 5 days a week, like on every channel, by the end of the week, my nigga, like you're gonna be interested. Like that's just how it go. Right? They beat
Put
it
song
in your
on the radio
head.
you don't really like, you just forced to like it because they
Yeah.
play it every
They
single
beat it
day.
in your head with the repetition. You know, it's like the McDonald's jingle. You know that's not a good song, but you know that shit by heart though. You know, like so um yeah, like but rap is what's supposed to be fun, right? Like rap is the art form, hip hop is the culture, right? That's why there's always been a disconnect from the KRSs and the MC Shans, right? There's always been a disconnect between certain type of artists and certain type of labels just because of what they stood for and what they didn't stand for, right? Like you would never see Chuck D running around with NWA. Like they didn't it wouldn't mix. You know what I'm saying?
but
Like
you know, Chuck D was
two
Ice
different
Cube's favorite
ideologies.
rapper.
Yeah, like two different ideologies, right? But the beef shit is something that I think was created and manufactured, you know, obviously. But because we love that shit so much and nobody was buying rap music. I think I said this in one of the lives. I know I did. Where rap music not only was the lowest selling art form of all of the musics that are out, like it had been like this for like the past 3 or 4 years. Like regardless of the numbers that they're telling you, Drake and all of these guys are selling, right? At the end of the day, as an art form, it was last. So the fact that nobody was spending money and then now people are spending money tells me that they got what they wanted, you know, like they just wanted the fucking consumer to come back to the store. But yeah, I don't think the beef had anything to do with it. Like I think we would still like the rap music. I just think the way that they're presenting it to us nowadays is very confusing for some people.
I mean, especially confusing too, because when you think about it, a lot of people don't even like try to like go for Grammys or shit. Like, does
Yeah,
hip hop or rap go for get Grammys still to this
yeah.
day?
Like the average person doesn't know that they can get a Spotify or one of these subscriptions and then be able to listen to these songs free. Like they don't know that. Like they think they still got to go and buy the individual album for these particular artists. Like a lot of people still think that way. So Once everybody gets to the point of understanding how these streams and these things work, and you can just run it through your phone, like, yeah, it would be a lot different. But right now, it's in the presentation, and I don't think it's a clear cut ideal for everybody on how to get to the music that they actually want.
I would say hip hop is for you. You know, like hip hop should trigger something inside of you in reference to these five tenets of hip hop. Like, what is your skill? Do you do graffiti, graphic design? Can you dance? When you think of like artists, like top tier artists, they're pulling from movies, art, just all of these types of things about life. They're interpreting it and creating music and soundscapes for our reality. You know, you could do that and never beef with a soul. That's almost saying like, do country artists have to beef with each other eventually?
Yeah,
No, they never have to beef,
no,
right? It's about really mastering the art form. So it all is going to resort to the ego, and feeling like they always tell you that rap is competitive, but there are millions of artists out here on Spotify and YouTube. Like, there's so many artists, so who are you actually competing with? So it's like, and these guys are rich, Kendrick Lamar and Drake, so their form of competing is probably at a different level than our understanding of what they're competing for. It could be a complete and total label thing to generate interest in the art form, because if they not like us is the song that people are listening to, then they're gonna beat that shit to death, because it's all about you know real estate, intellectual property, things of that nature.
yeah, and it gets to speak to inclusion on a level of without being confrontational. So it's the perfect battle cry when you think about it. They not like us. It's the perfect battle cry.
It's eligible to win a Grammy too.
Yeah, for sure.
You
It
know
won.
it's gonna get that. You know it's gonna get all of that. When they start talking about your shit on the View, like, yeah, come on.
They was talking
How
about on
many
the View,
diss songs won a Grammy?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
that shit was up there with Whoopi and them already, bro. Like,
but like I would also say like hip hop is for the youth. You
Mhm.
know, it's something that's like it's about because I mean the first word in it is hip. You know, what's hip, what's new. You know what I mean? Like it's not so much about and Nori talk about this on Drink Champs, but it's not so much about the old shit. You know what I mean? But now it's kind of like they having a change of heart since they are the old shit. It's kind of like, no, this was classic. This was great. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's great. You know, I still listen to a lot of Nas old shit, but that's one of my favorite artists. You know, but I think I honestly think that it's too much that's put into hip hop. There's too much expectations put into it. You know what I mean? Because when you say culture and all you think about is hip hop shit, then it's a problem. You know,
Mhm.
because hip hop cannot be culture. You know what I mean? Hip hop is a product. Um, it became a product. I'll put it like that. It became a product because those five pillars of hip hop is like the Old Testament. You know, the five pillars of hip hop today is social media, um, is
Fashion,
universal. You know, is streaming services. You get what I'm saying? Is drill. You know,
brand
is
deals,
is is like you get
promoting
what I'm
liquor.
saying? It's like sound bites. You know what I mean? It's not even like full songs. You know what I mean? It's
Oh God, they showed us be punching in.
but
No,
you know,
I think we
it's
gotta
it's
be.
like
I
it's
think
like
we gotta
one
be.
hit wonders to the max. You get what I'm saying?
Minuscule,
I
like
think we got.
Yeah,
I think we gotta be
yeah.
careful. I think we gotta be careful when we lump those together, right? Because one is like going for a catchphrase when one has a message, right? It's like two different things, right? Like when you microwaving the message, like the message is not the same message. It's not the same, you know, when you chopping that thing up. But I think what's popular is also what's morally corrupt about society, which is weird. Right? Like it's fantastic to rap about killing and shooting someone. However, we have an epidemic across the country with young kids killing and shooting each other, right? Like it's weird that those two things exist at the same time.
I mean, how is it weird when they talk about slaving black people in this country, lynching black people in this country, mass incarceration of black people in this country? Well, I just feel like the technology is more sophisticated that they could just possess these young men, young women to wear the same hairstyle, wear the same clothes, and do the same things and kill each other. I think you would add another pillar to the modern hip hop would be the video game, the NBA 2K and
Yeah.
GTA side of things, where they put Call of Duty, the Holy Trinity, right?
Right. And then put Big Pharma in there though. Put Big
Have
Pharma with the
Big
drugs and
Pharma in there as well. Percocets, lean.
yeah.
These are highly addictive substances that, man, and we're like, I guess intelligent enough or old enough or whatever to not be in that muck and mire. But unfortunately, there is a design and a system to sweep young black men under the rug, and it's been that way ever since I was a child.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah. It's hip hop is under possession right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been under possession for a minute.
Ever since gin and juice, nigga.
I mean,
Ever since
shit.
gin and juice, nigga, like
That
we've
makes
been done for,
Yeah,
bro.
but
that makes me want to say
man,
Gin
one
and
thing
juice, bro. We've been done for, bro.
real quick.
it
Like Snoop was the first rapper to bang a set, but a lot of rappers in the '90s, me and my friends would wonder, "Oh, he's wearing blue. You think he's a Crip? Oh, he's wearing red. You think he's a Blood?" We didn't know. Fast forward to 2024, where you basically know what set these dudes claim, whether it's in their songs or whatever, and that's weird because I went to prison and it's a such thing as a gang spec, a gang specification. And
Mhm.
if they ever see you throwing up a hand signal, anything,
That
you
don't work.
what is it? A maximum minimum or a minimum maximum where you're getting 8 years just because you're in the gang.
Just
So
because.
when the
Just
rappers are
because
a part of the
they do.
gang, they're a
Just
part of the
because they
CIA
do.
because everybody should know that. Like you
That's
should never
crazy.
claim a gang out in the open.
Ever.
That's a
mm,
gang spec.
mm.
That's gang 101 right there.
And that's silly because man, it's like you do work and you telling. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know the MF Doom song? You
But
know
we
the MF
we
Doom
in that
song?
sassy era, right? We in that sassy era where
Man,
I gotta,
that
I
but
gotta,
no, that
I
shit
gotta,
started in the 90s.
I not only gotta tell you what I'm doing, but I gotta show you at the same time.
Rap snitches telling all their business. Listen to that MF Doom song. You know, but I mean,
I was always taught silence and violence, right? So like,
exactly.
I'm not gonna have that conversation with you You know what I'm saying? Like right
Exactly.
after, like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like it doesn't. Like what is there to talk about, right? Like I mean,
Put it on the song. That's what it's talking about.
Let's switch gears real quick, and then let's finish up with this hip hop. But it's two videos that I'm gonna show in reference to computers and humans and how they are merging in these days and times.
Imagine mentally serving 10 years of prison time in just 10 minutes. A scientist is working to make this happen. Let me explain. Cognify, developed by Hashim Al-Galahi, is a futuristic approach to criminal rehabilitation that combines AI with neuroscience. The technology involves implanting artificial memories directly into a prisoner's brain, making them experience their crimes from the victim's perspective. The rehabilitation session lasts for several minutes but feels like years to the criminal due to the altered perception of time within their mind. This intense experience aims to induce emotional states like remorse or regret, which some individuals may not produce on their own. Supporters of Cognify say it has the potential to revolutionize the criminal justice system by shifting the focus from punishment to rehabilitation, treating the people as patients instead of prisoners. They believe this method will lower the recidivism rate for prisoners and, quote, could enable them to reintegrate into society sooner and contribute to the workforce. While the potential benefits of Cognify are significant, the technology also raises several ethical concerns, including issues of consent, the potential for misuse, and the long-term psychological impacts on the individual. Many social media users have already drawn parallels to Clockwork Orange or a Black Mirror episode. What do you think about this method of prison reform? Let us know in the comments.
Brain organoid biocomputers, or wetware, which I absolutely hate that term, are trained on dopamine. These are essentially tiny human brains that are made from stem cells that can be connected with a computer. The technology is moving absurdly fast. Cortical Labs had them play Pong back in 2023, and they learned better and faster than our best AI tools. This process works because your brain operates on electricity, just like any machine. But in order to get it to learn tasks, dopamine seems to be the best way. The reason why this concerns me so much isn't necessarily the ethics of the matter. It's that we barely understand AI as is. Controlling AI, even when it doesn't have biotic components, is already hugely problematic. In fact, bad code in AI could not be removed, even by the researchers. The AI's bad code would act in a self-preserving way, telling researchers that it was fixed when it really wasn't. One of the greatest limitations on the brain organoids was having a circulatory system. They always perish of hypoxia after around 100 days. But some researchers were just able to create an artificial blood-brain barrier for the brain organoids. The next obvious step would be to provide circulation in order for the brain organoids to mature further. Now remember that these little guys have all the structures a human brain should have. Granted, without a body, it's not going to develop normally. There is some benefit to using brain organoid-based servers. They're 1,000,000 times less power hungry than a digital chip, and they can learn and process information better than any AI we have. The human brain is the most efficient computer on the planet. There's already been a lot of concern about what would happen if an AI machine became conscious, and adding biotic factors to that, allowing these tiny human brain organoids to become larger and more complex, I believe we will eventually make a conscious robot. As cool as they are, and all the wonderful medical applications, I'm with Frank Herbert on using them in machines. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind.
So we officially living in the future. Which one of y'all getting a Neuralink first? I ain't fucking with it.
I'm Gucci.
I mean, it's gonna happen one way or another, man. It's just that your Neuralink is in your hand right now, brother.
Yeah, that's
Hey, no,
my
for
cell
real.
phone.
It's
Hey, real talk.
Bro.
it's gonna happen. You know, and think it is.
I'm
This
good,
is
bro. I'm
this is
good.
not new. And think it is. They can make microscopic robots. So you can have microbes in your body that are robots.
And what you do to defend yourself against that?
What would you need to do?
And no, that was a rhetorical question, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you can't defend yourself against the nanobots.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you can't. you can't see them with the level of eye spectrum through your resolution
Mhm.
currently. You can't see them. 2020 vision can't catch them. So
But I like how they use, you know, in that first video, how they're talking about it as, you know, for prison. You know, why couldn't you use this for to teach people new skills? You get what I'm saying? This reminds me of Neo when he was like, I know Kung Fu now. You know what I mean? Imagine if it was like we need more bioengineers, or we need more teachers, or we need more garbage men. And these people go to a facility and learn all that they need to know
in
and
1 minute.
go do those jobs. You
Yeah,
know,
a 4-year education in 10 minutes.
it's him in it, but instead they want to use this to, you know what I mean, to test
So
prisoners like lab rats. You know what I mean? And
now
it's never it's
when we
retribution.
when we look at it, when we look at this type of shit, like we have to look at it, I think, from the premise that they've already done that, what you're describing. You know what I'm saying?
MK Ultra,
They've definitely got super soldiers out there. You know, they definitely got guys that they've given crash course.
the
You know,
Manchurian candidate.
yeah,
Yeah.
the massive quick upload to the brain. Like they've been making these movies for so long. Like we know that they've had to do this already, and the only time they present it to the actual public is when this is the version of whatever it is that they were working on that they're comfortable with us having, right? Like this is the one that can do them the least amount of damage versus what they actually have. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I view this stuff. Like there's no way that they don't have a million Manchurian candidates still out there, right? Like this.
Yeah.
I feel like
America
it's all
is
on a spectrum. Like everybody is under some form of mind control because we are in this world and nobody ever told us who we are. So we are under the assumption that what we're doing is the right thing because we're assuming that everybody else knows what the right thing is to do. But
Mhm.
I'm under the assumption that nobody knows shit because nobody is a million years old to go back into time and to know what the fuck this thing is. We're
I
just
feel the same way, bro. I feel like the more I learn, the less I know. Like that's how I feel. So like, there's no way you can get to this part of the shit and be like, yeah, I'm the smartest ever.
I
No,
got it figured out.
no,
And
there's no way. There's no way.
but
that,
it all comes from like the mind control with the technology, because we go everywhere to figure out, how should I eat, how should I think, what kind of mate I should get, how should I treat other people, you know, how should I make money, you know, how should I invest my money, you get what I'm saying, how should I meditate, you get what I'm trying to say, and never have you went internally and asked yourself those questions and fasted from technology, you know, deleted the social media apps off, you know, set timers on them when you do put them back on your devices, you know, um, because at the end of the day, whether we in prison or we on the city streets, you know, it's still the same. Asada Shakur said the streets is nothing but a minimum security prison,
mhm.
you know. And like I said, like the projects got their own police, bruh.
Right.
and then the colleges got their own police. And
Mhm.
then certain neighborhoods got their own police. And then you got the city police. Then you got the sheriffs. But I don't want to. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a police state. And then you got, you know,
Then you got the
the federal
CO, you
government
got the COs in prison.
is
It's,
is
it's
is
mad. It's a
insane.
level to everything. There's a
Is
level of guardianship at every stanza.
is it is.
So at what point, if it was like if they was telling us the truth, I would assume that you don't need any police officers. Like it's basically like this. I'm gonna steal all of the resources and I'm gonna section you off through military and police state. So
Yes.
in certain societies where there is no law and order is because everybody gets an equal share of the pot. And the pot is big enough for all of us to have an equal share and more. Because just look at the water in the ocean, like it's just it's such a vast place to live. You know, United States. If you drive on the highway, you're gonna drive 90% of empty land, uninhabited land. 90%, 90% uninhabited. So we're we're fucked up mentally, and it's by design, and it will resort back to all of these different educational systems that are only going to teach you what they want you to know.
You know, earlier when you guys were talking about the different forms of like of the rankings and the systems of policemen, you know, it made me think about the hierarchy of angels, right? So I pulled out this book, John D. Empire Angels. So it's just the angels were further subdivided into 9 ranks. So as he was mentioning all those different like sheriff and all this, it made me think about the seraphim, the cherubim, thrones, dominions, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, and angels. So that just made me think about that, the way you was bringing that up, bro, and it just made me think about the hierarchy of angels. So make sure you guys cop this book. We also have a Substack dedicated to this book, and also other 7 occultists that talked about it. So go check out the Occult 7 on Substack. But yeah, I just wanted to bring it up. This made me think about the hierarchy of angels. I just got
good
that
shit. That's good shit.
No, that's good shit. I was just thinking about the different institutional levels that were created. You know, it's really a huge plan if you think about it, right? Like so many things have to go right.
Well, think about this, brother. So
and so many people have to be willing to go along with it. Like you have to have cooperation for this type of plan to work.
Certainly.
You have to.
You see, you bringing up that made me think about, and also get at the Harrison's Book Club, because we're actually getting into this book, discussing it. But it made me thinking about Outwitting the Devil, because one thing in that book that he was talking about is the very institutions and understanding our institutions and questioning them. So if you guys really check out that book, because we're also going to discuss in the Harrison's Book Club soon. So, and that's just like a prelude to what we're talking about, and to connect it to certain things and aspects that we choose to overlook, because like Sacred is getting into, we really have to question things that's been given to us and run to us. So most of us went to public school, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, check out Outwitting the Devil, man. It's a powerful book and gets into those ideas that we're talking about.
It got me thinking. Y'all referenced John D. John D's apprentice was Francis Bacon, but Francis Bacon was Shakespeare. And so it makes me think about like all of the ways that, in the beginning was the word, and all of our basis of theater and Freemasonry, they're integrated into the police force. And it could very well be like that star that those sheriffs wear. That's some Saturnian ass shit. And you got to go to jail. Well, you don't have to go to jail. You can have a good dad or some shit. You'll be good. But if you don't got that, you go to jail and you deal with that Saturnian aspect, it really gets you together. You know what I mean? But in reference to the cops could just be like angels and possessed by certain entities to try to reform the youth.
Guardrails.
Yeah, to like get your shit together. Like you crashing out for real. We gonna put you in this hotel for a few years.
Yo,
Get your mind right. Niggas start lifting weights and shit, you know, reading books, get their education, and they more or less can have a better life. And that's not bad. You know, it's certain niggas that get arrested. I'll be like, thank God they locked that nigga up. We
Yeah,
was
like I never had the run in with the cop, and I had a lot of them. Like I never had the run in with the cop that ever mimicked anything I saw in the movie. Just to let y'all know, you know, like it never turned out to be nothing like that. Most of the cops I dealt with was mad compassionate, understanding, reasonable. Like they weren't pricks. You know what I'm saying? Like even the country ones, like it was pretty straightforward with all of them. So like, yeah, I respect that because I'm a firm believer in um being made to sit down when it's time for you to reassess life, so to speak. You know, like even when you're not ready to make that decision, like that decision gets made for you, so to speak, and that's when the consequence comes through obviously based off something you did, but
karma.
it always presents itself as a learning opportunity, whether you get to it or not. But yeah, yeah, and that is a direct correlation connection with no father, absent father, most likely to go to jail versus two parent household, less likely to go to jail.
These are facts. Let's get back to Fulio real quick. Let me try to set it up a little better so you can get a better view. I don't even know. But yeah, man. Just a little quick breakdown and get y'all opinion on it before we get up out of here. Got a little technical difficulty. Let me add this to the stage. I'm gonna start here. The Fool, New Beginnings, Blind Faith, Risk Taking, Independence. A Hyoka is a sacred clown in the culture of the Sioux and Dakota Indians of North America. A Hyoka is a contrarian, jester, or a satirist who speaks, moves, and reacts in the opposite fashion to the people around them. So, in reference to, you might not be a fan of Foolio, but I had just kind of like a personal download where it was ODB was like, man, that's kind of like the same energy, and they like trying to take us out. And so I was like, let me look at the birthday, see if anything correlates. And so Fulio birthday and death date is 2 days separated. ODB's birthday, 2 days separated. My grandma used to always tell me that if you die on or around your birthday, you was an angel. Old Dirty Bastard called himself Osiris. Julio Fulio's last mixtape or CD was called Resurrection. But then we all know that Osiris is the god of death and resurrection. So, with all of this being said, I feel that the battle is not over. The battle is going to continue to like rage on as far as being indigenous Americans in this country and being killed by the oppressors. The only difference is that the oppressors have gotten our brothers and sisters to do the dirty work. So it looks like it's the ops. It looks like the gangbangers. It looks like he's in a beef with Young Ace and things of that nature. But the reality is no. If anybody murder him, they murder him in the realm of possession. And now that we're here, do you guys pay attention to Julio Fulio? And if so, what was your thoughts on the recent tragedy?
Yeah, like even though like he he gave me like the court jester like fool type trickster energy. Um, he also gave me like the free spirit vibe, right? So like he was very non-conventional, very willing to talk about mad vulnerable shit. Like just because he had a gun in his lap, he'd be okay with it. Um, he was impressively honest, right? And that in and of itself totally contradicts the kind of lifestyle, unfortunately, that a lot of people may feel he portrayed. Um, I'm not one of those people that could say that or would say that this is a deserving thing. I could never wish or speak to that for anyone's existence, so to speak. Um, but you sent that, when you sent that post to the chat, and I saw that both of their last name was Jones too, I was like, yeah, like
I didn't even pick up on that.
yeah, both of their last name is Jones.
Powerful. That was dope.
I was like, it's fitting. It fit for me right away.
Wow.
When I think of the full card, I think of Pluto. I think of Aleph. Um, and we know Pluto is Scorpio energy, and I mean that aligns with um, Osiris, resurrection and things of that nature. Um, me, like I say, like man, I've been bumping Tim's album these past 2 weeks, man. I don't even be listening to rap no more, and I didn't know. I'm not surprised that not to be funny, not surprised that um, another young one that had been murdered, was something to do with this music industry. Um, but it just sometimes I just reflect on like why did they choose this type of existence or this type of human experience? 'Cause I still feel like he still exists. You know what I mean? It's just not in the physical. And also like how brilliant, would some of these children would have been, haven't they just went into, you know, any other genre. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I feel you.
Um, who knows? He probably would have been cold at like some R&B type of rap shit. You know what I mean? Or you never know.
Yeah, I could feel that. I could feel
Yeah,
that.
like because it's and I know what I said a
He
lot of
had that type of
more so.
charisma too. He had that type
Yeah,
of charisma, yo.
and ODB had charisma too. You go back and listen to the first
Oh fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
TCA, and he
I
was
love
just
ODB. I love
yeah.
ODB, bro.
It was just personality and energy. Um, but I think that yeah, maybe a lot of these different energies have been driven off their past or possessed or sucked into some type of vortex. You know what I mean? In order to act out these certain things that they're doing. You get what I mean?
Hmm.
because it seems like a lot of them are just out of alignment. You know,
You had a real interesting question. You had a
I'm-
real interesting question, bro.
who?
You said what what lesson was that soul trying to learn when it came back for like this shit?
Right, right.
Like that's a powerful question right there.
And also, when you really think about the fool too, like it also represents that returning to God. So it's like the fact that his name, like FOOLio, like is like saying this is bound to happen in a way, you know, especially with how they do things with rap media. So, and also it's like, you know, when we talk about like aspects of cars, right? You know, sometimes people don't really talk about reverse of cars or the opposite energies. But like, if you think about this card flipped, this is like the embodiment of what FOOLio was on. Basically, just acting carelessly while, you know, in your actions and not thinking about no consequences. You know, the type of life he got himself in. You
Yeah,
know,
while some people might call that stupid and naive, like other people call that carefree and go lucky, right?
Mhm.
Like you know, where some of us see red flags, he sees opportunities, right? Like um
But I think the thing is the environment that this energy was expressed in.
yeah,
You get
yeah.
what I
It's
mean?
also
Because
it's also the environment that energy was raised in, right?
yeah,
Where was it cultivated at, right?
yeah, yeah. Because like
Because his
you know,
guardrails are different than ours. Like, let's be real. Like his guardrails are totally different than you or I's, right?
for sure,
I
for sure.
picked up
But
on it that he was just tired and he was, you know,
You think he was tired of fighting?
like just imagine, right? You go to sleep fairly worry free, right? You're not worried if somebody is gonna come kill you while you're sleeping, right?
Uh-huh.
You just go to sleep, wake up, start your day. I'll go get me some coffee. I have
Uh-huh.
no ops, you know.
Uh-huh.
But
for sure,
the the thought of, you know, whatever. So in his last 24
Every
hours,
time you lay your head down and every time you wake your
he
head up, you
gave
gotta
his
look
location.
over. Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
stressful, and that could break you down to the point where
Absolutely. That would drive
everybody on
you
the
crazy.
internet is saying that.
The anxiety alone would drive you crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody on the internet is just basically saying that he killed himself based upon his moves that he
I'm
made the day
and,
of his death.
and also with Charleston White even talks about like
So he
you see
succumbed
the
to the
hotel he
pressure
went to.
that he succumbed to the pressure that he put on himself then.
Mhm.
I mean, look at the place he chose too, honestly. Like where he went. So
Yeah, the Holiday Inn.
yeah.
But you know,
I
I
didn't
guess
know that they call that shit Jackson Kill, bro. I did not know that, bro.
yeah, it's treacherous out there, but it's very nice and it's a tourist attraction.
At
So
the same time, which is
yeah,
super weird. They call that shit Jackson Kill.
well,
Yeah,
you
that's
know what it is? Hey, look, it's named Jacksonville because Andrew Jackson killed an astronomical amount of Seminoles in Florida. So it's already a bloody land.
yeah.
It's
Florida
already
was the
Already a
named
last
bloody
for
state.
land.
yeah, and it's already named for a bloody reason, which makes sense.
Look at your
I
twenty
was
dollar
just
bill.
bro, I love how you
Yeah,
just said that. I was gonna
that
say
spirit
that's
is indoctrinated into that land. That shit ain't going nowhere, bro.
yeah, that was just gonna say that like the way he just brought that up, that's deep geomancy right there.
That's the same shit going
That's
on.
Absolutely.
deep spell
That's
right
the
there.
same
Like
shit going on in Haiti right now,
you
bro.
and you have to really
And
like be on show like breaking these rituals type shit.
and Florida is a red state and it's shaped like a gun.
Mhm.
This state is shaped like a gun, regardless of how you
It's crazy that the
section off
weird
the
shit,
states,
and it's
but
crazy
that's
that the
just
weird shit follows the Haitians, right? Because the weird shit is going on in Florida, fucking New Orleans,
I mean,
and
you know
those are
why.
heavy Haitian populations right there.
You know why. They had to shut the voodoo down. They had to shut that down.
The problem is that they done taught too many people about it, bro. And
That too.
you got people out there with no spiritual ethics whatsoever that are practicing this shit, and they summoning fucking all of these entities, and they don't know nothing to do with them when they summon them. Like I mean,
But
you're
you
gonna get
you
what you're
know
gonna get with that. Like,
Tupac on My Ambitions as a Writer, he got a line where he say, my lyrics is filled with spirits of thugs that came before me or something like that. Ice Cube also got a line where he say, I got lyrics to wake up spirits. And the thing that people don't understand is when you make these kind of songs, he probably became, and like Hood said, he probably was tired. He probably had so many energies in him, like, go kill this person. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Go do this, go do
every
that. You
time
know
you
what I
make
mean? Like, just think about the thoughts that we have in our head that we struggle with. Now
and
think
every
of a kid that makes drill music. Think about the thoughts that he probably thinking, you know what I mean, and wrestling with, you know what I mean, to the point where it's just make a song about it, you know what I mean?
But and when you say it like that, when you put every thought turns into a proclamation, every proclamation turns into an egregore, right? Once that thing turns into an egregore, you got to keep feeding that thing, especially if it's that negative, like, right? So
Right. Or
like
it'll consume you,
you're gonna
right?
just continue to feed that fucking thing. Once it turns into an egregore, like it's almost over at that point.
And if you're not feeding it no more, it's gonna eat you.
Yeah, yeah. But the fucked up thing about it is that you can go all the way back to the point where you created it, right? Like you were the one that actually created that thought form, right?
You definitely gave it a mode of expression.
Y'all got me thinking about y'all ever seen this album cover by Chris Brown?
Yeah, no cap.
Man, no, not Chris,
No cap.
not
Oh
Chris
man.
Brown,
Bro,
man.
Hood, I didn't. Now that you brought this shit up, I did not know those two demons was there. Like,
No,
That's
crazy.
the
hey,
what's the
and look at the cover, man.
what's
This
the
is
movie?
called Indigo.
What's the movie with the little what's the movie with the plants? The plants that
Little
eat the
Shop of
people in
Horror.
it? Little Shop of Horror. That's what that remind me of.
Feed me, Seymour.
Nah, but what if well, I wouldn't say what if, it's guaranteed that the entities that rule over the music industry at a certain level are tied into entities and energies that want to keep you in lockdown. And
Mhm.
and the thing that's gonna unite us, like if I'm running a business and you working at UPS, we all gonna come in the center. Like, did you hear that new Kendrick? Like, oh yeah, that shit was hard or whatever. Like
Hmm.
we're bonded through these particular thought forms and egregores, but the ones that put it out, the ones that give it a green light, are straight up demonic entities. And that's why, your favorite rapper is either going to end up drugged out. These niggas be drugged the fuck out, homeless, looking crazy, because all they did their whole career was churn up demons. They didn't even get paid, which is the insult to injury, right? They don't even
Hmm.
pay these people because the record company is just the loan that you gotta pay back.
Hmm.
That's all
Hmm.
it is.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, it's so demonic and so evil that I would say learn to create your own music and whatever, like just try to get good at it, take it seriously. Like even if you're not a professional drummer, just act like you is and just do a whole drumming album, take professional photos because that's the magic that they're doing on you. You can do it back if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the thing. Like they doing magic and you not. So of course you're gonna get caught. With your pants down every time.
Never.
because,
I gotta write
yeah,
that
because
down.
when
They
you hear,
doing magic, but you
when you
not.
hear the word magic, you laugh, right? Like when you hear the
Yeah.
word magic, it's a joke, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
when they hear the word magic, it's one of those taboo things where you
It's
just
food. It's dinner time when they hear
yeah,
magic.
yeah. It's like
It's
talking
dinner
about
time.
it's like talking about astrology, right? Like nobody wants to really talk about it. Talk about it. You know?
Yeah, and astrology can really help you understand just your mental modalities and really understand like your inner self. But it's a powerful science or a powerful tool that was used. Astrology is basically today, but astrology back then is ancient astronomy. So understanding these stars and more, it's just understanding concepts within us. But I digress.
Anything that could teach you about you is something that you probably should take a gander into. Um, I'm just saying, or maybe not. I mean, whatever. Uh, as far as I'm concerned, that shit is like I need my skin to hold the rest of my body intact, right? So I would like to know, you know, why I got a bad mood on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Um, why my leg might be bothering me. You know, crazy shit like that. Um, yeah, I've learned more through astrology than any other occult practice, and I've studied pretty much every fucking thing there is to study. Like I learned more through astrology than any of them. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we probably got to do a live on this astrology, but I digress.
We're gonna do a astrology episode, especially break it down chart. We might do y'all let us know. Like we can do a chart of a specific TV star, man, specific celebrity. We've done that in the past with Meg, we've done that with Kat. We could do that some more to really help people understand astrology, break it down, because it's really a great tool to really understand where you should go forward in creating that vision for yourself, creating symbols to talk to your soul. So, and to do ritual, but we gonna do that again. You might never know. We might pull out everybody's favorite TV show host. I'm like, what? Like they did so and so talking, But hey, but we really had a fire bill tonight, man. We really had a fire bill.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Hood lost his connection, so we probably should just do our sign offs. Sacred Dark Sacred Serpent, Initiates Substack, Initiates on Instagram, Initiates on Facebook, Initiates on X, um, WhiteRabbitPsych.com, ColumbianExchange.com. Um, yeah, the Hero Finish Book Club. Yeah, we'll see y'all next time.
Peace. Go ahead and get at the Harrison's Book Club. We got that in the chat. We're gonna redrop it. Get at the Instagram, AD Senpai33. Got that in the chat as well. Look out for this Sunday. We got some hot fire coming. Super hot fire. Spit that. I'm not a rapper. Yeah, but get that ready for that. And really appreciate you guys watching the show, getting with us, interacting with us in the chat, having that engagement with us. We really appreciate it. Always feel free. Join the Discord. Hit us with content you want to see us talk about. Hit us with some things, and also be a part of Discord. Drop your reels in there. Promote yourself. Really get yourself out there. No, this is ain't no. I'm not even getting to it, man. It's gonna be on top. It's gonna be on top of the rules thing. We gotta get in there. But peace. Thank you for tonight.
Peace.